I spent my entire adult life trying to help people, give of myself, and I can't even get my medical bill paid. Well, John Field got my medical bill paid. He finally got these politicians with his team, firefighter Ray Pfeiffer, who has since died, fought with terminal cancer for 9 years in a wheelchair. Literally at the end, came out of hospice to go finalize getting us this coverage. Detective Luis Alvarez, who testified days before he died in front of Congress. And a bunch of other guys that were really, really sick. And we had to shame these people into signing on. And luckily we had Jon Stewart come on and literally just hound these guys and shame them and embarrass them. And what it all stemmed from was in 2006, the first death that was determined to be linked to 9/11. There was others, but the first one that was officially linked was a New York City police detective who initially, the city said he died of advanced lung disease. His lungs were protruding out of his body. And he was on painkillers, and it was so bad at the end that the doctors said, just grind them up, snort them, drink it, whatever you need to do to get instant relief. So when they found the talcum from the pill lining in his lungs, they said, oh no, this is opiate abuse. He didn't die of lung disease. So they said, and the mayor was quoted as saying, he is not a hero. Well, shame on you, Mr. Mayor. He was a hero. And his father, who was a retired police chief, married up with the Feel Good Foundation and Jon Stewart and Ray Pfeiffer, Detective Alvarez. And they got us all covered. But it took so long. Lex, it was so heartbreaking. These people who were lining up 3 deep, politicians 3 deep, to catch a picture with a responder so they can tweet hashtag never forget and hashtag look at me and hey, how am I doing? All that bull crap.
But they did nothing.
They were nowhere to be freaking found. I literally witnessed them hiding in cloakrooms, running down hallways away from us. Those freaking cowards.
That's cowardice. Can I just linger on the Jon Stewart thing? The comedian, actor Jon Stewart, his testimony before Congress over the benefits for 9/11 first responders. I mean, there's a lot of important human beings in this story, but he has a big voice.
Yes. And
he spoke from the heart. What do you make of that testimony?
Oh, it was heartfelt. I mean, he spoke. Look, I mean, John was a polarizing guy, right? There's certain things like over the years he was cutting edge, and I might not have agreed with all of his.
Oh yeah.
Some stuff, some not, right? Like we all. But I tell you, I found him as funny. I enjoyed his humor.
I would love the two of you to have a conversation.
No, but again, I love a guy where you can have a difference in opinions. That's the beautiful thing about the Firehouse Kitchen. I mean, it could get raucous and now I don't know, it's a little different situation, but I mean, back in the day, some funny stuff. But yeah, John literally just took his talents. You would think he was speaking from the heart of a fireman or a cop or a soldier or a Marine or someone who was there. But I think he especially got to know Ray so well. And Ray had this stack of mass cards from, the funeral cards they give out. Mm-hmm. It looks like, a larger business card that's laminated. And Ray had a stack of them he would carry around. I think it was close to 100 cards. And John saw it and he said, what's that? He says, these are my cards. He said, for what? He says, for my brother's funerals. He was like, oh my God, you've been to that many funerals? He goes, yeah, this is just the ones I made, and John, I think, was just stunned. And John actually had that stack of cards after Ray passed, and said, look at these. Look, there's going to be more of these cards. We have one guy a week or girl, one responder or recovery worker or someone who actually resided down there. There's more than one a week dying. It's one a day dying on average. And on average, 2 people are diagnosed with a 9/11 cancer or disease. Right now, the worst part is there's autoimmune diseases flying off the graph, and they're not covered under the legislation. By the grace of God, my cancer is covered. If my cancer comes back, I mean, I'm in remission. It's technically incurable, but I've been blessed. I'm staying ahead of this stuff going on 10 years. But if it comes back with a vengeance tomorrow and takes me, at least my wife will get my pension and be able to live her life without fear. But my friends who are suffering from these advanced autoimmunes, their wives get nothing. Their pension dies with them. And we're hoping that Jon and his army can shame these politicians once again to have the kindness and decency to cover these autoimmunes. They're throwing a lot of money around at a lot of things lately, and this is one that they won't. And these are lives in the balance who really need it.
And Jon had this strong line: "They did their jobs, do yours." Talking to the politicians.
Yeah.
And it's a strong wake-up call that it's not about the Twitter or the social media or all that kind of stuff. You have a job to do, and you have to. It's that compassion implemented in form of money, of helping people.
Oh yeah,
that were there for you when you needed help.
Well, we had a guy, I might get audited out of this one, but I hope not. But we had a congressman from out west, I won't say where, but he prided himself on saying he was a retired cop.
Yeah.
Busy cop, 22 years.
Yeah.
He said no on the legislation. I witnessed a cop who was dying get out of his wheelchair and said, "Hey, brother, I got $500,000 in medical bills and I'm a short timer. I got a few months to live. Who the F is going to pay him? Do the right thing. You say you're a cop. You show me you're a cop and you sign that paper." And the guy started tearing up, the congressman, and he signed it. But he had to be freaking shamed. And you know what he said? "Well, this doesn't really confront me. This is pork as far as my district's concerned." He goes, "Oh, yeah? Do you know there's 10 guys from your district who came across the country to help us that are also dying?" He had no idea.
Yeah.
He had no idea. And that's the sad part about it, Lex. It's a failure in leadership. I think some people would vote for Mickey Mouse just because if he ran. No offense against Mickey Mouse. I like him. He's a good guy, right? But
allegedly.
Allegedly, supposedly.
We don't know.
Yeah. But seriously, I look at some of the leadership sometimes and go, "Yeesh, we're in trouble."
And also you lose, I think the way government is structured is people who are senators or people who are in Congress, they start playing a game between each other and they lose track of the connection to the people, to basic humanity.
Oh,
so
yeah.
you forget, even when you think of yourself as a cop, you forget what are the cops and the other people servicing the community actually experiencing, all the troubles they're going through and how they can actually be helped, because you lose touch of that because you're not actually living, you're not talking to them, you're not living among them. And that's a natural part of the system, but I think that's why character and great leadership is important, is you say you leave the game of Congress and you go back to the people. That's what the country, it's like the George Washington ideal, is you're not playing a game of power. You ultimately see yourself as somebody who's servicing this country, servicing the community, and that requires talking to the people in their time of hardship.